fired up there, bud.
You can never be too fired up.
Never be too fired up, he says. We'll find out.
Welcome to the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. It's Brad, Eric, and Josh. Week 12 is mostly in the books. We got 2 games, maybe 2 games to go. One for sure. Second one, COVID's doing its best on that. The coronavirus has came through and taken more players down in that game, and we'll see how that affects everything. But yeah, heroes and villains this week. I know I did terrible. How'd you guys do?
I did okay.
I did all right.
50-50? Let's go with
yeah.
that. Sure.
I mean, I'm not going to take like solid victory laps, but I think I did pretty good. I'm okay with it.
Sure. Yeah. Solid victory laps. No.
Anything? This was like, there was just bad football on this week.
Yeah, no, that's what got me down. I don't know. There was some bad football. I'm not even talking about the Broncos. The Broncos, they were in a terrible situation to begin with, but there was
so bad
from other games like Jared Goff, like the 49ers and Rams game. There was terrible turnovers combined.
It was terrible. Yeah,
it was rough.
I mean, it started on Thursday night. Washington, Dallas, Houston, and Detroit. I mean, by the way, I'm so glad that Matt Patricia is out. I'm so stoked.
I said it.
But how does Adam Gase still have a job then? Like, I don't get it.
Because we talked about this. Because if he gets fired, the interim coach might actually mess around and try to win. Right now,
would it be Greg Williams?
Yeah,
that's he ain't gonna win anything.
Well, he does as an interim coach. He's a great interim coach. He's a terrible.
He almost won that Browns job.
Yeah, so
yeah, that's true.
We can't do that. So he messed around and got freaking what's his name? I can't even remember his name now because he was such a terrible head coach. But he got he got Freddie Kitchens an actual head coaching job. But
he did.
He did. So and the thing is that they're going to have to pay Adam Gase for this season no matter what. Mm-hmm. So why not just ride it out, let them be terrible, and then let's see what happens. That way they don't owe him the money for the rest of this year without anything happening. But I mean, Cleveland they struggled against Jacksonville. Tennessee smacked up Indy. It was just a bad week of football, boys. I just didn't. I don't know. I wasn't too enthused about that, but there were still some good things for fantasy that happened.
There's a few
bad things, but I want to talk real quick. You guys brought up Adam Gase, and the only thing I want to bring up with him is supposedly he's not calling the plays anymore. But in his post-game press conference, he kind of said he is calling the plays.
He also said
relieved that he's trying to build scapegoats in there, right? Like, I'm not calling the plays, I relieved it over to him, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I don't know.
It ain't gonna matter. They're all getting fired at the end.
No, they're getting fired. He also said that what did he say? This is what the team could have been if we were healthy or something like that. Like, we're gonna show people what we're gonna be with when we're actually healthy. Some garbage like that. Like, injuries were what were slowing us down and holding us back. Like, give me a break, man. You're terrible.
That's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was.
He was garbo.
Let's talk about some. I guess we got to talk about some negative news. We always start negative here, and I hate it. But you know what? Before I get negative, let's stay positive. And Josh, tell them about the FSA, because once I get negative, I'm gonna be down the dumps here and just.
I think we should talk about Fantasy Sports Alliance and how the playoffs started this week in the redraft portion of it. How are you boys doing in that, Eric?
I don't want to talk about it.
I didn't make playoffs, but
okay. Well, you got a bowl game, Brad, coming up.
I ran into the combined buzzsaw of Tyreek Hill and Derrick Henry.
Okay.
So that's 97 total points between the two of them for FSA.
What happened to I'm number one?
I wasn't number one. I was number 4 going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I had the number 1 seed in our division, but that was it. Yeah. But Dalvin Cook got hurt, so that really hurt me. And
it just shows you, fantasy football is a crapshoot. But anyway, Fantasy Sports Alliance. Brian is going to come on Wednesday and recap this crazy weekend of football. This is a bad weekend for you to run into this buzzsaw, Eric, unfortunately, but that's the way things worked out. Fantasy Sports Alliance. You can check them out on fsa-fr.com. That is our personal mothership. Brian is the creator. He's rolled that beautiful bean footage since the mid-90s, and we absolutely love Brian and what he does. He's going to be on with the Fanatically Real broadcast every Wednesday night on Facebook, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Check it out on all those places. It's scrolling in the bottom of our screen right now, all the places you can find it. And then also every Tuesday night, the Average Bros with Josh and Kevin, and they are actually brothers. So you can check them out as well every Tuesday night on this. Same places, Fantasy Sports Alliance. So please check out the website, fsa-fr.com. We love you guys, and things are going pretty well for me in Dynasty. I hope the same thing for you boys. All right, back to you, Brad.
There you go. There it is. Yeah. No, FSA, check it out. Please, for the love of Jesus, check them out. But let's move on to week 12.
I do love Jesus.
You do. Eric, you talked about it. Let's talk about Tyreek Hill for a second. In the first quarter, he has 200 receiving yards.
And what quarter?
Unbelievable, man. Absolutely unbelievable.
It was like second or third quarter. He had what they called a holy something. They called one of his catches away, and the announcer was like, so he doesn't have a catch in this quarter, so what's wrong with Tyreek Hill? Just joking around right. because he's just lighting it up. Dude's good. Dude's fast. Like, it wasn't just like he's burning people. That last touchdown he had where literally the dude was draped all over him, he just kind of yanked it out of the air there.
Yeah,
and it helps when you got Patrick Mahomes dropping the ball right where it needs to be.
He was pinpoint accurate today, and Tyreek Hill is just so dang fast. I mean, that Tampa Bay defense is good, and they made them look pedestrian.
I do want to talk about the running back situation there, though.
This is the worst.
This is a bad matchup for the running back, and CEH wasn't really performing. Le'Veon Bell was more efficient of a runner. Is this something we might see going down the stretch, maybe playoff games and stuff? Is maybe them going more towards Bell than the rookie?
No, I don't think so. I think this is just a bad matchup for running backs in general.
Okay.
We can talk about that. I mean, I don't want to get too much into heroes and villains, but someone may have predicted this.
I know you did. I don't want to get too much. I more want to get into Bell's usage against a good defense, because he's kind of back there as a pass protector / sneaking out in the flat, maybe running out of the shotgun a little more than CEH does.
I think they're happy to have a veteran presence there at running back for the stretch. I think, rather than having a rookie possibly, get the deer in the headlights on the big stage. Not to say that Le'Veon Bell won't, but I mean, he might be a little bit more prepared for such a thing than CEH would be.
Yeah, he's blown plenty of games in his life.
He's been good. He was great with the Steelers, man.
Yeah, he was good. No, yeah, it was just a rough matchup for them, and then on top of that, they were up. They were just trying to throw the ball over the place. They weren't even really trying to run it because they knew that the same thing we already talked about, that the pass was going to work easy. And I mean, poor Carlton Davis. Carlton Davis is a good cornerback. He's just not a fast cornerback, and that is where he had a bit of a problem against old Tyreek Hill, because Tyreek Hill's just stupid fast. Like we talked about before, they're one of the fastest teams in the NFL, and there was just nothing he could do. There was just nothing.
Well, you got to give safety help with Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, and once they
you can't leave him on an island. Yeah,
once they figured it out, it was too late.
Well, even then, after they started, even when they would pull the safety help, Carlton Davis was playing 10 yards out. Like Tyreek Hill would stop in like the 5-yard range, and he's like, "Nope, I'm not going up there. I'm not even leaning forward, because if I lean forward, he's going."
Yeah, the double move where he just smokes him. Yeah.
Tyreek Hill's got. He's the person. If he's even, he's leaving. Like, if he gets even with you, he's gone.
Yeah,
and he's got a quarterback that can get him the ball. He doesn't have no noodle arm out there. He's got a guy that can flick it 50 yards.
Flick that bean
on a rope. Yep.
So I want to talk about Baker Mayfield missing the most wide open pass in the NFL.
What was up with him?
Rashad Higgins.
He's so bad.
So I started him this week in one of my leagues because Lamar went down with COVID. So I had to pick somebody up, and he was one of the only options. It was him and Sam Darnold. So I was like, well, I guess I'll take a shot on Baker. And yeah, watching him today was just incredibly frustrating around the goal line. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Tough day. I mean, he did okay, but like he missed, like you said, he missed a ton of open throws.
And then he got Kareem Hunt killed. Like literally Kareem Hunt, like laid him out. Let's talk about the positive again. You talked about Derrick Henry. Was it three?
Yeah.
Like three.
Three tutters.
Three in the first half. He had the old hat trick in the first half.
He had 200 yards in the first half, too.
At least we were smart about pulling that Colts defense.
Yeah.
Because I know you were talking about.
In FSA, I picked them up, and I was like, oh, man, like, I don't know. So we talked about it after the show, and then I picked up the Giants D and dropped them. I was like, oh, good. At least nobody else can, pick up the Colts D. But I kind of did everybody a favor, so because they got waxed.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be that bad. I really wasn't. But I mean, it was just that kind of week, man. I mean, like the Colts forgot how to play football. They completely forgot how to play football.
I think they had a game. So I do kind of want to talk about this. There were a lot of late notice COVID people.
There really were.
So Jonathan Taylor was a Saturday morning. He's on the COVID, like out of nowhere. The whole quarterback room for the Broncos, COVID. Mm-hmm. Literally every quarterback that's even possibly suited up.
Drew Lock is such a moron.
No, it's because they were close contacts, but they weren't.
Yeah, they were all making out without their freaking masks on, dude.
No, it's not. They didn't have. They were in close contact, no mask. Yeah, they're in the quarterback room talking.
Yeah, they were all making out. He's such an idiot. I'm done with him. He's such a moron. I freaking
just want him gone.
Yeah, can't stand this kid. He's never on the field. And then whenever he is healthy, he decides to go and freaking get the Rona. I mean, grow up, dude. Get out of here.
All right. I kind of alluded to this earlier. The Baltimore game, more players have tested positive. One of them being Mark Andrews, who has diabetes, which means he's a higher risk.
I didn't hear about Mark Andrews.
Yes, he tested positive for COVID. Mm-hmm. And he is – so, There's also going to be a lot of penalties. The Saints got penalized for breaking COVID rules. It was, I think, $500,000 and a seventh-round draft pick. They're investigating the Baltimore one. They're investigating the Broncos. I can see fines coming down from them. I can see the whole seventh round just not even happening this year because the NFL took it all back.
No,
that's fine. Nobody watches the seventh round anyway.
They'll just award them to the Patriots, and the Patriots will turn all those guys into diamonds, and it'll be fine.
Right?
Will they? Because I'm watching right now, and I don't see a lot of diamonds in the seventh round.
Hey, Patriots are they're almost back up to 500, boys. So they're doing just fine.
That's dumb. They should tank.
Yeah, they can't.
What other big fantasy games were there that we didn't talk about? I know I'm missing somebody here.
Jarvis Landry out of nowhere.
Yeah. Jarvis.
If you started him, Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray was huge.
The Falcons defense and Younghoe Koo.
Oh my Lord, the Falcons defense! You got to be kidding me, man. The Raiders. They play the Chiefs. They beat the Chiefs once, and then they play them super tough. They play the level of their competition every week, and they went to the bottom of the barrel because they played the bottom of the barrel today. Good Lord.
Well, the Jarvis. I do want to talk about Jarvis Landry. I know it's Jacksonville's defense was really bad, but also the Browns have not played in good weather in like a month now.
It's true.
Don't care.
So, I mean, maybe that's something. Maybe Jarvis Landry's a guy going forward that if you have him on your team, maybe you want to start him.
That means you're trusting. No, that means you're trusting Baker. Can't do it.
Would you trust Baker or Taysom Hill? You want Jarvis Landry or you want Michael Thomas?
Ooh, Michael Thomas has had a tough year.
I guess I'll take. Oh God, yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
At least you know Jarvis is going to get the targets.
Yeah, like Kirk Cousins right now is the number 3 quarterback on the week.
Don't say that.
Kirk Cousins, bro. Number 3.
You know what I'm really glad about? That we said don't play Austin Eckler in his first game back. He only had 15 targets and, a ton of yardage and stuff. Good call by us.
Yeah, that made a lot of sense. Good job, guys.
Yeah, good job by us. Well, I don't know about Brad. I know you and me were like, let's not start in the first week back. But
James Robinson had a great week.
He was great.
I do want to talk about that. I mean, he was. I mean, Mike Glennon looked very serviceable against this. I'm not saying he was great, but 235 yards, 2 touchdowns with James Robinson. I mean, they were cooking a little bit. Not terrible. Not terrible.
Yeah. Christian Brown asks, is Tom Brady retiring after this?
And it's year.
Oh, this year.
I don't think so. I think Tom Brady's it's kind of a 1-and-1 deal. I think he signed this year, so I think he's got 2 years on it. And I really think that he's going to try the 2-year thing, especially since there was no preseason. Chris Godwin's playing out there with like 7 non-broke fingers. Like he's trying to catch bullets out there off his fingertips, and he's got tape. He's got that's what they're throwing him.
I know, bro. No, I agree. I think he's going to play one more year after this, but I think the 45-year-old that'll be his last season next season. I do think this is Drew Brees' last year, though. I will tell you that.
I would agree with that. For his safety, I kind of hope so. Because
who, Brees?
Yeah,
I think Brees and Rivers are done this year.
I think
Rivers should have hung it up last year.
They want to know if Gronk's re-retiring. I don't know about Gronk. Gronk will do whatever Brady wants him to do. Gronk's looked okay these last couple of weeks, honestly.
He really had. He's like the 3rd best tight end over the last 5 or 6 weeks.
We didn't talk about it. No preseason for him was probably the worst because he hadn't played football in a couple years.
Now he had to put on 25 pounds and learn how to do stuff.
He had to do that at home. It's a lot easier to put it on when you're in the building and they're forcing food down your throat than at home and I don't feel like eating.
I don't know. I feel like it's been pretty easy for me, boys. I don't know about you.
Well, okay, there's good weight and bad weight, though. There's a difference here. All right, what about the Saints? Let's talk about the Saints real quick. I want to do Taysom Hill was out there against the Broncos, against whatever. They started a practice squad wide receiver quarterback. Did the Saints treat this like a bye week this week? Is this an outlier week because they were kind of resting Michael Thomas, resting Alvin Kamara? Alvin Kamara only got 11 carries. He wasn't out there a lot. Latavius Murray got a lot of work.
Yeah, that was concerning. And this has been 2 weeks in a row that Alvin Kamara hasn't gotten a lot of work. And on top of that, he's only gotten 2 targets in between both of the Taysom Hill starts. That's very concerning. And it looks like Drew Brees is going to be out for about 2 more games. That's going to start into your fantasy playoffs. I don't like that one bit. I don't feel confident with Alvin Kamara right now at all.
I think I'm okay with Alvin Kamara. Like you said, the targets are kind of – and the goal line targets aren't going to be there because Taysom Hill is going to tuck it and run. When Taysom Hill has pressure, he tucks it and he runs.
Judas.
Yeah, Brown here thinks that the Saints are the best team in the NFL right now. Steelers are still out there, and the Steelers are still pretty good.
Did you see the Saints game today or the Chiefs game today? Yeah, they were.
The Chiefs are probably the most complete team.
If you can drop I would say the Steelers are the most complete team.
The Saints don't have to play the Steelers or the Chiefs until the Super Bowl. So
yeah, but
that is true.
The Packers are pretty good. Oh, with Brees, they're better with Brees. I would agree.
I don't think it's a bad take. I just think that I think that the AFC has some better teams between the Steelers and the Chiefs. I think they're better right now, but it very well could end up being the Saints at the end.
I don't want to freak out too much and overcorrect with the Alvin Kamara stuff. He's still the number 1 running back on the year.
No, it's time to freak out, dude.
You think so? Are you benching him?
Josh is like, I need him in Dynasty.
So we kind of talked about Nick Chubb a second ago, but Nick Chubb has another 100-yard game. Since he's been back, he's averaging over 95 yards a game, about a touchdown and some change per game.
Mm-hmm.
Rest of the season, Nick Chubb or Zeke Elliott, Josh?
Chubb. His upcoming schedule is very, very nice, especially for championship week.
Yeah. He's got he stays in New York. He's got the Jets and the Giants.
Yeah.
15 and 16.
Mm-hmm. Pretty nice. But I got a question for you guys real quick. Going forward, Ito Smith, for real? Not for real.
I don't trust any of those running backs there.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Gurley got a lot of usage, and that's the only reason he was viable.
Yeah.
Brian Hill and Ito Smith. I do like Ito Smith. I think he's a decent talent. I just don't know. There was no Julio this week, so if Julio's back, does that change the game? I think Ridley got banged up for a little bit in that game too.
Yeah, he hurt his ankle.
Yeah. So that changes a lot. And they were up. And I don't expect the Falcons to be up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So Christian thinks, as a Steelers fan, I have to agree the Steelers are really good. I just don't know if the Super Bowl in the Super Bowl, the Steelers defense could handle a high-powered Saints offense coming in with Breeze.
If they get to the Super Bowl, they're probably still playing the Chiefs. And if they handle the Chiefs offense, I think they can handle Slant Mike.
Yep, I agree. I agree. Kamara might be a little tough, but Bud Dupree and TJ Watt are pretty good.
They're built better to play the Saints because they can play the Saints in front of them. Where the Chiefs,
I do want to say though that the Broncos put up the same amount of points against the Saints that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers put up against the Saints with Tom Brady, and the Broncos had 0 quarterbacks. So, 3 points, baby, 3 points. Woo!
It was off a turnover, but hey, we take it.
One completion.
We take those.
Completion and
wasn't that Brandon McManus's longest field goal in his career too?
Sure was.
How far did he kick it?
58 yard.
Oh,
nailed it.
He's like the guy on the replacements.
Hey, so who showed up more this week? Did the Broncos or did the Auburn show up more this week?
Auburn showed up more, but it was bad. This is a bad week. It was a bad week for me, boys.
What happened in the Iron Bowl? I didn't watch it. I really don't know what happened.
I turned it off for a minute and I was like, I got to turn this off.
Nick Saban took the week off and Auburn still got waxed. It was bad.
Oof.
Well, you don't think Nick Saban was just in the ear of whoever is just like, you're my mouthpiece? Do you think they had like, a dude, like a student assistant just wearing a cardboard box with like an iPad here, and it was just Nick Saban, and he had to walk around and go to.
Yeah, it was like the Peyton Manning Tide commercials, basically, is what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, it was bad. I don't want to talk about it. Let's get it.
Okay, let's get into the fantasy stuff. DJ Moore, you said it's possibly an Achilles
ankle is what it's listed at, but not
they don't know. It was a non-contact injury, but he did run into the goalpost. So I mean, non-contact with a person, but he still contacted something. DJ Moore's out. Daniel Jones probably has a hamstring because he came out, tried to come back in, couldn't do it. I don't know how I feel about him because if he doesn't have good hammies, kind of loses a lot of his value there. Josh Allen got rolled up pretty good. He came back in the game, only missed one play.
Yeah,
but it looked pretty rough.
Poor Philip Lindsay. He was killing it, and then of course goes down with a knee injury. Yeah, and Dalvin Cook. He plays pretty well when he gets a chance. So
yeah,
and Dalvin Cook murdered my team today. Thanks, bud.
But Dalvin Cook did come back in the game, so that's
but he didn't do anything.
Came back.
He was just there.
Yeah. He was kind of a decoy.
Go team.
Debo came back with a vengeance.
He looked good. Got him as a free agent pickup.
With no Kittle there and Debo being the only guy, like they find ways to get him the ball to make plays. Kyle Shanahan really uses stars, and I like that a lot.
I wish other coaches would do stuff like that. Weird. Not talking about Dallas. Yes, I'm talking about Dallas.
They do.
No, they don't.
Cedric Wilson, 4th down, man. Come on, 4th and 10. Cedric Wilson.
Can we talk about AJ Brown and how he got 2 beast mode touchdowns?
Yeah. 2 yards after catch. He led the league last year in yards after catch. This year he's down to like 6.8, and he still leads the league in yards after catch.
Yeah, wide receiver 6 this week, killing it. Very
nice. Because he had that onside kick for the touchdown. I mean, Mike Evans came back. He had a good game. He only had 3 catches, but 2 touchdowns. That was really good for him. I was excited to see Robbie Anderson getting involved again because he had a few down weeks, and now he's a wide receiver 1 currently. Devontae Parker is clearly much better with Fitzmagic. But yeah, I think overall it was a decent game, or a decent week as far as for fantasy goes for a lot of players. But it was just bad football. No, they won't go 16-0. No.
For the audio listeners, Christian wants to know if the Steelers go 16-0 or 15-1 or less. They
16-0, baby.
They got to keep their foot on the gas. So
okay, no. Christian's going to ask a crazy question: should you drop Zeke? And I say no. Even though Zeke's so bad, you can't drop Zeke. He still gets a lot.
Yeah, you can't drop him.
You can't drop him. I mean, no. What are you dropping him for? Now, if you can go get Antonio Gibson, if he's still out there, okay, sure, why not? If he's there's got to be somebody else. There's got to be somebody else in your team you can drop.
Yeah, and I think that looking at the Steelers, the remaining schedule that they have, there is the trap game with the Ravens, Well, that could happen this week. I mean, I know a lot of people are overlooking that, but if they don't play that game, okay, they'll get the win. But they still have to play the Bills, the Colts, and I'm not going to say the Browns is a trap game, but the Bills and the Colts, those are games that could be tough on them. And who knows what's going to happen in that final week where they if they are 15-0 at that point, they might take the week off and lose a game. So I think 16-0 is really difficult to do.
Yeah, Christian's like 2.9 points though with Zeke. I get it. Zeke was bad, but if you're gonna spike drop somebody, I'm gonna pick him up. He's not gonna stay on the waiver wire long if you drop him.
Nope, he'll be gone in a flash. Yep, number one waiver priority for that guy.
So what you picking? You dropping it for Adrian Peterson
because he vultured 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, Frank Gore. Like,
yeah, who else
what do you want here? I mean, like these are the people that are out there that you can probably go get.
Yeah,
and I don't like any of them.
Maybe Wayne Gallman if he hasn't already been scooped up. Ito Smith if you want to go down that road.
Yeah, but like, I don't.
Jamal Williams.
His upside is way better than a lot of these. Jamal Williams, but Jamal Williams is probably owned, and he
probably is because I mean, if you're handcuffing people for injury stuff, yeah.
All right, Eric, you're running the show, man. So we ready to do what everybody came here for?
Yeah, let's get into what everybody wants.
It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's heroes, villains, and sidekicks.
Boom. All right.
All right. Who's starting it, Eric? You run the show.
Let's start with you, Brad. Here we go. Yeah, we're going to start with you, bud. Sorry.
You don't have to make it. You can just do that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't. Okay.
All right. So this week, my heroes here. Let's just start. Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, he hurt me again. He got the COVID literally right after I released this podcast. Bam, news comes out. I almost put a redaction in, but I was like, we don't do that here at the Empty Wagon. We don't do redactions.
We don't do
I'm owning it. So, yes, he was on the COVID list. Hopefully you checked that and you paid attention. Daniel Jones, he was QB 20. That hamstring injury kind of really ended his day. He was looking pretty good until that happened. Darius Slayton got the big old gooser.
Sad.
Big old goose egg. Not
he's talented too.
And Harrison Bryant showed me some flashes, but he fumbled one of the catches he caught, and he dropped his touchdown pass. I almost looked like Notre Dame here, but nope.
Was his pass catchable?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hit him right in the hands. Hit him right in the hands.
That's a shame.
Fancy even challenged it because he's like, maybe, but he couldn't keep it, complete the act of the through the ground.
Yeah.
Because if he'd have been on the sideline, they would have caught it a catch. But
because it moved like half an inch. Yeah. That's a terrible, terrible thing.
Yeah. But yeah, so I missed on everybody this week. Not even a sidekick in the sidekick with a bunch, So
Sorry,
yeah, it was bad this week.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to Josh's heroes.
Let's do it. All right. Well, hey, I gotta say, QB was looking pretty bad at first, but right now he is a QB1. Ryan Fitzpatrick with 18 points on the week. He's a number 10 quarterback. I know it's not pretty, but hey, he outscored Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Matt Ryan. So hey, you got to take it. You got to take your lumps and your victories where you get them. With the wide receiver, now that was a different story. The old wide receiver and running back position, those did not pan out quite as well. Wide receiver, like I said, Phillip Rivers forgot how to play football, but I would say that it was encouraging based on how many times Michael Pittman was targeted. He was second on the team in targets with 9 targets. Yeah. It's just Phillip Rivers sucked today. So,
do you guys think that once they got down, the game plan was kind of done, and Phillip Rivers isn't going to throw you back into a game? He's going to throw you out of the game even farther.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's why we saw Jacoby Brissett come in, right?
They've been running that. Like, I think everybody's trying to copy the Saints with Taysom Hill, with putting in. A lot of teams are doing that. They bring in the backup who's a little more athletic to run sneak / passes.
Yeah, rough week if you had Phil Rivers though, because Brissett had just as many fantasy points as he did. So
rushing touchdown really saves the day on that one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Kareem Hunt was my running back this week, and that did not pan out either. He had 6.2 points, which wasn't going to be enough to really get you anything. And
real quick on the Kareem Hunt. Since these last couple of weeks with Kareem Hunt, he hasn't looked good. And he was RB8.
He looked good. It was just they gave Nick Chubb the opportunities.
That's what I'm saying. So Nick Chubb's getting more of the goal line work, where last year Kareem Hunt was getting all that goal line work. Are you nervous as a Kareem Hunt owner down the stretch?
No. So for me, well, yeah, I am nervous down the stretch. For me, though, what happened is that Mike Glennon decided he wanted to play football today, and that really messed up the game plan because they started using Nick Chubb a little bit more. They started using Kareem Hunt a little bit less, and Baker had to throw the ball, which we know that spells all kinds of trouble for this team. So they should be a running team. Baker threw it a lot more than I thought he was going to. I mean, he threw it 29 times. I was thinking 15, man. I mean, I'm not even kidding. Like, I really thought he was going to throw it about 15 times. But Kareem Hunt still had 6.2 yards a carry. It was just wasn't good.
I don't know if 15 times is realistic for an NFL quarterback. I think you'll see 20 throws per game.
Josh thought they'd be up by like 3 touchdowns and just try to run the clock out. Is why.
Because Jacksonville's so bad.
Remember, Jimmy Garoppolo threw 8 in a playoff game last year. 8.
Yeah, that's true.
Baker threw it 22 times last week.
Yeah. I would say 20 to 25 is okay for Baker. Like, not too. Don't go over that. But
this is the highest that he's thrown it in several weeks. I mean, we're talking it's been a long time since he's had to throw the ball this much. I think it was week it was week 7 when he threw the ball 28 times against the Bengals. So,
yeah. Well, that's a good matchup. He should.
And Josh, I do want to talk about your tight end here. Go ahead.
Hey, I mean, it was good when this is definitely a victory lap for me. I mean, couldn't believe it. He had a couple of big plays that he ripped off. He was targeted 9 times. He would have had an even better week if he had not fumbled the one time, but 6 for 9 for 129 yards. Right now, the tight end 1 on the week. I feel good about that. I thought it was a good matchup, but even I wasn't. I can only take so much of a victory lap because you can't sit there and say that you knew this was going to happen. When tight end position, man, it's rough, but
so I do want to going forward, it looked good, but then Daniel Jones went out, and it wasn't as good with Colt McCoy. And if Colt McCoy is the guy under center, is he somebody you're looking to start? Or are you trying to pivot at tight end?
I hate that. I hate it because right when he's getting like really involved in the offense and everything like that. But who are you going to pivot to?
Yeah, you definitely have better options.
Yeah, if it's Trey Burton, sure, absolutely.
I wouldn't pivot to Trey Burton. At least the volume's usually there with Trey Burton. Might not get any. He might not get any targets.
I don't know.
That's true. You don't, but I don't know. So Christian says she likes Michael Pittman Jr. Yeah, we do too. I've drafted him in 2 dynasty leagues, and she also wants to know if she should keep Dallas Goedert or drop him.
Yes, keep Dallas. Absolutely.
I would say keep.
Yes, he's very good.
Yeah, I'm starting him in 1 league this week.
It looks like Zach Ertz still will not play this week, and I think you should totally keep rolling with Dallas Goedert. He was going to be the guy anyway with both of them healthy. So
yeah, for sure. All right, let's move on to my heroes.
Boom.
Not bad this week. My quarterback, Derek Carr. You know who he outscored this week? Us 3, and that's about it because he had 0.6 points against the Atlanta defense. I don't get it. We were talking about this before the show. They play to the level of their competition. So if they're playing the Chiefs, they're balling. But if they're playing Atlanta, they ain't doing nothing. So Derek Carr.
Bro, Josh Jacobs the ball. He had to do it on one emergency where he was going to get sacked, and Josh Jacobs made 3 dudes miss and got the first down. And then what do? They put Devontae Booker in there for a 2-point conversion and stuff. And I'm like, what?
So there were some offensive line issues. I mean, their center a couple of the linemen got banged up, and Derek Carr was under duress. He didn't know what to do with it. Then Dante Fowler actually looked really good again, believe it or not. And he fumbled. I think Derek Carr fumbled 3 times, and he threw a pick 6. It looked like Daniel Jones back there. It was bad. It was real bad.
Yeah.
It had all the makings. Makings.
Darren Waller was bad. Yeah, it was all bad all around in that Raiders offense. And Josh Jacobs got hurt too, so he got banged up at the end of the game too. So I don't even know what's going to happen with him. So, what do you want, Eric? What about the rest of your guys here? Let's talk about your.
So David Montgomery came through for me against the Packers. Yeah, he's running back 6, 25 points this week. So he got in the end zone. He had over 100 yards rushing. He did break that one big one at the beginning, so he didn't get a ton of touches, but he made the most of what he got, which was pretty nice because Trubisky was pretty pedestrian as usual. He got some points in garbage time, but didn't really do much else. My wide receiver, Robbie Anderson, 19 points this week. He was wide receiver 12, so just snuck in there. Considering like the big scoring days from a lot of the top guys, yeah, he's probably not like the greatest flex play in the world, but he was still worthy of a flex play. And he was a wide receiver 1, so I'll take it. And then Hunter Henry, tight end 7 with 13 points. That'll get you in there for tight end 1 because just like clockwork every week.
You gotta take it.
Yeah, 3 out of 4. Not too shabby. Big miss on Derek Carr, which considering the matchup, I can't believe that, but I'll take 3 out of 4.
Yeah. You can't argue with that, bud.
Mm-hmm. Christian, right. I apologize. I assumed, and you're Brian's nephew, so sorry about that, bud.
What's the matter with you? Don't
I know. Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I'm a boomer. Right. It's my fault.
Let's
boomer.
All right, Brad, moving on to your villains.
I don't like that villains, man. Oh,
hey, there's MJ.
There she is. All right, my villains this week. You know what? Melvin Gordon, I'll take a victory lap on that one. It helps when there's no quarterbacks there. He's RB 48 on the week right now. That ain't good. Matt Ryan's quarterback 16, so I call it kind of a villain.
Yeah,
even though the team won and they were up big, he wasn't the greatest. Like it was a lot of what I thought, a lot of yardage and not a lot of the touchdowns that you want.
Yeah, Julio going down.
Yeah, Julio was out.
I saw the notification. A lot of people I saw, like in a couple of my leagues, they were like, he was active right up until like a couple minutes before game time. I was like, I thought they announced it ahead of time, but
it was out way earlier. I'm pretty sure last night they said it was extremely doubtful.
I mean, it worked out for me because I was playing against him in one league.
All right, T. Higgins is wide receiver 24, so I'm not going to take a victory lap on that. I'm not going to call him a villain. I thought he would be very bad. Tyler Boyd was very bad. T. Higgins was still good, still got the touchdown, still got the volume there. So going forward, do you guys like T. Higgins more or Tyler Boyd more?
I don't like either one, Bob.
With Lindley,
it
wasn't Lindley. Who was it this week?
Brad Allen. So that's such a volatile situation. It is, but they're going to be down. They're going to throw the ball. I think since T. Higgins got the work here and got more volume, more targets, I'm leaning more towards T. Higgins.
I would lean towards him too. Because in the last half of the season, he's gotten more targets, more especially like goal line targets too. So
I know you don't like it, Josh, but some people out there have to start, wide receiver 2s. They can't all have wide receiver 1s on their teams.
Draft better.
All right, and then tight end position. I said Mark Andrews. He got COVID. We already mentioned it, but I also said Jared Cook. And here's a little stat that Mike Clay from ESPN wanted to give you about Jared Cook.
There you go.
The last 3 games, he has been outsnapped by Troutman, the rookie tight end there. This week, it was 39 snaps for Troutman, only 19 for Cook. I think Cook, who we've already talked about, was very bad. He's 100% droppable in this tight end landscape because if he's not even getting volume of play, what's the point of it?
What's the point?
Yeah. I think I dropped him like 6 or 7 weeks ago in a dynasty league.
I know, but some people might be like, well, still, with no Drew Brees there, Troutman did he get a touchdown this week? I know he got some decent catches. I don't think he got a touchdown, but
even with Brees, he wasn't really doing a whole heck of a lot anyway. He did a little bit earlier in the season.
Like 9 years old. Like he ain't spring chicken out there.
No, he's not. He certainly is not.
Neither are my boys.
Remember, new is always better.
Troutman. New is always better. Adam Troutman, he had 1.8 points this week.
No, he didn't do well. It was Taysom Hill had 2 touchdowns, and then Latavius Murray had the 2 touchdowns, and that was it.
Tight end just not really working out for the Saints this
No,
That's it.
and they don't need to because they have Taysom Hill to punch it in for them.
Yeah. Christian says Higgins greater than Boyd. Yeah,
No, he
we
is.
would agree with you.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
He's pretty good. This rookie wide receiver class, Justin Jefferson again today, just wow. Like they're unbelievable.
It's reminiscent of the 2013 class with Mike Evans and OBJ. I mean, really good class that year. And now this class is shaping up to be, and we haven't even seen all these guys like what Jalen Reagor. No, not Jalen Reagor.
Yeah, Jalen Reagor, Denzel Mims.
Denzel Mims. We haven't really seen Henry Ruggs developed yet. I mean,
Henry Ruggs had a great play. I mean, he just couldn't stay in the end zone. Like he almost dove in the end. Yeah, he's been good.
Michael Pittman's rounding into form right now. I mean, this is a really good class. I mean, one of the best.
Yeah. So here's a stat for you from NFL Research about Justin Jefferson. He caught his 5th receiving touchdown of the season in the first quarter. Rookies with 850 plus receiving yards and 5 receiving touchdowns in their first 11 games. Randy Moss, OBJ, Mike Evans, Anquan Bolden, Marquise Colston, and Justin Jefferson.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good company. Marquise Colston didn't have a really long career, but man, he had some fire years with Drew Brees there for a little bit. And Anquan Bolden was one of the toughest guys coming.
Dude, he got his jaw ripped off and he played the very next week, bro.
He had a metal plate put in his face and played like the next week. Yeah.
Dude, what a beast. Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to these next set of villains here.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'll do it right now. I don't care.
Do
it right now. All right. Josh, go.
Leave it up there for a second.
All right,
okay,
Ryan.
Don't yell at me.
Ryan Tannehill, he made me look foolish. Didn't like that at all.
Rushing touchdown is what did it. The rushing.
It was the rushing touchdown because he only completed 13 passes. He only threw for 200
and AJ Brown breaking off long runs after short passes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yes, Ryan Tannehill, great. Had Derrick Henry not just been running everything in, Ryan Tannehill probably wouldn't have taken that one, and it would have been another one for Derrick Henry, but he got selfish. But I'll take the L on that one. Okay, I made the mistake there. Now, running back, I was correct about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He had a terrible game, and we talked about that a little bit already earlier. So I feel very good about that. Not even close to being a good tight end. Then you got Devontae, who he did pretty well, but was he a wide receiver 1 this week? No, he was not. No, he was not.
Oh, come on. He was wide receiver 13. Get out of here.
Hey, for Devontae Adams?
But is that a villain? Is that a villain?
Yeah, he's a sidekick, but hey,
okay.
Not a wide receiver 1. Not a wide receiver 1. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. I'm taking my victory lap where I can. I didn't say to bench him. I just said I didn't think he'd have a great game, and he didn't.
Okay.
Jimmy Graham had a terrible game right now. He is the tight end 19 on the week. So, not bad. Not bad. I'll live with that. Yep. Eric? Easy.
My villains. I should have flip-flopped my QBs and I'd have been on point here. But Tom Terrific. Yeah, he's QB5. So he played pretty well. I mean, they were down, but plenty of garbage time points for him and Mike Evans. So yeah, definitely a loss there. He was a hero. And then Aaron Jones, 10 points. Definite villain. When you get outscored by your backup, and Jamal Williams got the touchdown. They got the same number of carries, but he got the touchdown. That's a pretty rough week for you. So 10 points is the lowest scoring figure for him in fantasy all year. Allen Robinson. So I sat him in FSA, and boy, am I regretting it now. He, wide receiver 4 with 27 points. I really thought that Green Bay defense was going to just focus on him and be like, all right, there's your only weapon. Mitch, go ahead and do something with it.
Did you guys see Allen Robinson at the end of the game when they're playing jump around and they're showing Aaron Rodgers jumping up and down? It's used to Allen Robinson just on the side with his mask on, just staring into God, I can't wait to leave Chicago.
That poor talented man. He's so talented.
Unrestricted free agent. I'm just saying.
He's going to get paid somewhere.
He should absolutely leave. I mean, he's so talented, so good, and he has to deal with the worst quarterback play. I mean, he took the money this time. I don't think he's going to take the money next time. I think he'll probably want to go actually win, but we'll see what happens. Can't be worse for him. Can't be.
Yeah.
Oh, it could be worse. It could always be worse.
He could have Ryan Lindley as his quarterback, or no quarterback at all in Denver. So
Yeah.
that'd be pretty rough.
Jerry Jeudy, I'm pretty sure, is not a happy camper right now.
No, that's
No,
kind of
but
tough if you drafted him in Dynasty too. That's a rough spot.
I started him in one of my dynasty leagues.
Ooh, ballsy.
Not
Good for you,
good.
bud.
Well, I thought they would use him a little bit more in the Wildcat. Thought they'd get creative, but then I forgot my coaching staff isn't creative at all.
So you don't have the oldest coach
First
in the
time?
NFL now. You know that, right? Because Romeo Crennel is older than Vic Fangio. So now he's not the oldest coach, but he was the oldest coach in the NFL to start the season.
Romeo Crennel's like 72. It's like when they said that, I was like, oh my god.
So we were talking about this whenever we were together, but I do want to state Will Fuller right now is currently the wide receiver 5 on the season. That means
Will Fuller the 5th.
Yeah, 5th, and he's 5th.
Will Fuller the 5th wide receiver.
He's lining himself up for a big payday. The problem is that Houston doesn't have any money, so
the cap's a myth, bud.
They'll figure it out.
Only if you're the Rams, the cap is a myth.
I bet if they do something with DJ's contract or cut him altogether, they have some dead money, but I bet they can clear a decent amount of cap space because let's face it, they don't need him anymore because he's not good. DJ.
Oh yeah. They'll probably, I think they're going to trade J.J. Watt. I can see J.J. Watt wearing a Steelers uniform next year.
All 3 of the Watt boys?
He's probably regretting not having one now because he might be in line for a ring. We'll see, though.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
We'll see what happens. I was kind of surprised. I mean, looking at some things that are surprising on the season, that was one that really grabbed my attention. I mean, I'm not surprised about some of these other guys being top players, but Antonio Gibson right now, the running back 4 on the season. That's kind of surprising. Good. James Robinson, running back 5 on the season.
He came out of nowhere. He's a rookie too, right?
Undrafted.
Undrafted. That's crazy.
Mike Davis is a running back 9. So, I mean, between injuries and COVID, things have happened this year that have it's made that position in particular very, very fluid. As far as quarterback, it's been pretty much the usual suspects. It hasn't been anything too crazy with Justin Herbert inserting himself in there as well.
And Joe Burrow was up there before he got hurt.
Yeah. He was. But between the running back and the tight end position, things have been very, very fluid. You have Kelsey and then you have the field pretty much with tight ends.
Yeah. Waller's a far and away second for sure.
Yeah.
And he's, of course, Kittle's injuries. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just been a crazy year to speak to fantasy. So if you're doing well at this point, I mean, good. What do you guys think about the fan controlled football league? That is from Christian again.
I don't know what he's referring to. Fan controlled
football. I think I heard
league?
about that, but I don't know. I think it's the one where you vote on what play you want them to do next and stuff, and then do it.
I think that's a cool idea. I think, and right now in this climate, yeah, I mean, you're going to need all sorts of entertainment that you can possibly grab right now. But
yeah, because they're bringing back the XFL too. So they just dropped merchandise for that not too long ago.
We talked about it here, but MJ wants to bring up crazy points on the bench from Latavius Murray. But no, none of us saw this coming. I mean,
nope.
Maybe if we really would have thought about the Saints, how they're going to maybe rest some of the players, because Michael Thomas got his ankle re-wrapped up and they didn't use him a lot. But it's nothing I want to worry about. He had 2 touchdowns like back in week 5, I think it was 4 or 5. That's nothing since then. Jenna says, "Hey fellas,
what's up?"
Yeah, I mean, you didn't really need to do a whole lot against this.
No, and I think
the Broncos did not have an offense at all. I mean, they had 0 offense. It was terrible. It was.
Have a good night, Jenna.
It was one of the worst showings by a professional football team I've seen in a long time, and I've watched some Jets football, so very bad. Yeah, they did score the same amount of points that the Jets did today. So
Christian says Richard Sherman, Donald DeLay, Richard Sherman Quavo, and Donald DeLea and Marshawn Lynch are all coaches in the new league called Fan Control Football. Interesting.
Look into it.
Marshawn Lynch, but
he's just gonna be over there eating Skittles in between plays, like in between calling plays and stuff. That's great.
Love that. Played Hawk and Hunter, Fitzmagic and Tannehill. Okay, yep. Yeah, I mean, Jay, those aren't bad plays. I mean, I'd be happy with those.
Hey, Fitzmagic, good. Boom.
You did the best you could with what you had. That's all you can really hope for. And fantasy football is a crapshoot. It always is. Can't do anything about it.
Did we get through all your villains there, Eric? Was that all?
Eric Ebron's my tight end. I think I think when we were talking about it on Friday night, they were scheduled for Sunday. So I was still, or at least when I was prepping for the show, they were scheduled for Sunday. So I picked him. We'll see what happens if they even play on Tuesday night. But for right now, yeah, I don't know what to do about that.
Yeah.
Let's hope they don't play.
I need Ben to play. I need Big Ben to play in the league, in the only league that I'm still relevant in. So
Let's just forego it.
go with that.
All
MJ
right.
says she was winning until the Kamara mess. Yeah.
Adam
Yeah.
Schefter brought it up. And when he says stuff, I listened. The NFL, with everything that's happened, they have not canceled a game yet. With other leagues out there have been canceling and everything. They've rescheduled a few, but they have yet to cancel a game. And the league office pretty much telling teams, like, look, we kind of told you this was going to be, have contingencies in place. And they don't really want to cancel it because Baltimore broke protocol. Like, that's the problem. Baltimore messed up. Why would we give Baltimore the break when they made the mistake?
Oh, I'm a Denver fan. I know what happens when you break protocol. You got to pay for it. So I don't feel bad for Baltimore at all.
Yeah.
We got that work today, son. So
At least they have a quarterback on their team that's actually knows what he's doing, right? Yes.
yeah, I don't feel bad for them at all. They'll be all right. They'll figure it out.
Christian says 2-10, one of my dynasty leagues, but those 2 wins never felt so good. I also beat someone with only 2 losses. Yep, you got to take solace in where you can find it.
Speaking of my tank league, I'm 0 and whatever. I'm 0 and 11. This week, I just put it to the number 2 team. He was trying to make a run for number 1, and I'm whooping him by like 50 points.
Nice.
MJ says poor Denver. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel bad for him, but
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks. Appreciate that.
What else, boys? What else you got? Anything else out there fantasy-wise that we forgot to talk about? Because I usually forget a lot of crap.
no.
Do you guys have any pickups for this week you would want to talk about?
Ooh,
If anybody out there ever dropped Debo, because he's been in and out so much, like
yeah, I just grabbed
I'm
him.
pretty sure he probably got picked
Yeah.
up again, but depending on what your league settings are, he might be out there.
Yeah,
Dude.
definitely worth it. Man, Gallman, if he's still out there, you probably not. Cam Akers had a good game today, but I wouldn't trust him.
If you're in any type of dynasty league, Darnell Mooney needs to be owned if he's not owned. Chicago wide receiver. With Allen Robinson probably leaving next year, he's been better than Anthony Miller.
He has been.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Anthony Miller's been he's been a disappointment. That's
What do you guys think about Cam Akers? 9 carries, 84 yards, and a touchdown.
That's kind of what I hoped he would be doing at the beginning of the year. Just
They've been week to week with them, man, and
Yeah.
how they've been going about their business.
it's awful.
Kenyon Drake. He's been very serviceable these last few weeks.
It's because
I'm not
he
saying
got touchdowns.
Yeah, but I mean that's what he got last year. That's how he won championships last year. Was he was just getting touchdowns.
Yeah,
Yeah, and depending on how long Fitzmagic stays a quarterback, Devontae Parker can be scooped back up and played. I do want to say that.
Okay. Yep.
MJ. Yeah, it is good taking down a big dog. Christian. Yeah, why is Pittsburgh always getting screwed?
Oh yeah, we're gonna screw it.
I'm not worried about it. They're undefeated. I mean,
I don't know your age out there, but the immaculate reception. Look it up. You didn't get screwed. The ball hit the ground. The ball hit the ground.
Yeah.
Ask Dez. He didn't drop it.
Oh, you dropped Kalen Balaj? Oh no.
I think he's talking about Debo. Probably dropped it. Yeah, Kalen Balaj. I think Kalen Balaj is honestly droppable. I don't see.
Yeah,
it.
Balaj is. Yeah, if you drop Debo for Balaj, yeah, that's a bad beat. That's tough.
I'm thinking he's going back to the practice squad. Hey, Christian, I love me some Kalen Balaj. Don't get me wrong. You go listen to about a year ago. I was hyping up Kalen Balaj like nobody's business.
He was. It was terrible.
With Austin Eckler back and the usage he got, I don't see Kalen Balaj really getting his 3 yards a carry is not what they're looking for in that backfield.
Yep. Nope.
No,
Sure isn't.
No, that was bad. It was bad. All right, I think that's it, boys.
Yeah, I think that's everybody or everything.
Oh, don't be fooled by big boy over there on the tight end, Rudolph. Don't be fooled. He is not.
Oh.
Well, this is his time of year. Post Thanksgiving, the red-nosed reindeer.
This is Tyler Higbee's time of year. He killed it in December last year. Go
Well,
ahead and get you some Tyler Higbee.
No, Gerald Everett was hurt last year.
Mostly.
Gerald Everett ain't hurt, and Gerald Everett is the better tight end there.
I mean, if you need a tight end with a pulse, he might
Red
be
zone
your guy.
reindeer, baby. It's Christmas season. I know Josh has his lights up already.
I put mine up today. It was great. Super fun.
No, I do.
I know he was out there fluffing the tree.
Last week, I was already ready. A week early.
Oh, all right.
Fluffing the tree.
All right.
All right. Thanks for tuning in to the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Empty Wagon FF. We'll be on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can find me on Twitter at FFJoshHughes. You can find Brad at Tack Jones, and Eric will be at Guns of Eld 19. You can also go to our website at fsa-fr.com. Check it out. You can see all the show times for all the different shows that we run. We appreciate you guys. We love you, and we will see you on Friday. Have a good week.
Good luck in your playoffs.